Pull up a chair. This is Fluxtaposed, episode 204. Recorded on March 20th, 2018. On the docket today, we'll have some IRL. We'll get you caught up on the What You Playins featuring Payday 2. Yes, Payday 2. And Tania. Finally, close out the show with the community grab bag and the sweet, sweet, awkward finish. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And as always, enjoy the show. Oh, how could we not come in with an epic soundtrack from our childhood after last week's amazing episode? Yes, that was the classic X-Men 90s theme song. Heyo. Heyo, welcome to Fluxtaposed. I am Jason. Lucas is here. Hello, Lucas.
Hello.
We have fancy new video stuff that we play in the podcast now. So,
hey, I feel like
cool.
I'm like 2 seconds behind everything that's happening right now.
Oh. Am I laggy? Am I in the past?
No, I'm laggy. I'm in the past.
You're laggy?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know, you look fine to me, so.
Thank you. I mean, I'm just living in the past, I guess.
What would be this podcast without breaking and stuff not working and
maybe that'll work.
There's a Discord glimmer. Nope.
I don't know what the hell's going on, but that's not for me to figure out. What would, like you said, what would it be without something fucking up and going wrong?
What would it be? Welcome. It's, gosh, I didn't even say, did I say the date? I don't remember. It's Tuesday. It's Fluxtaposed Day. Welcome to the show, everyone. We're thrilled to have you here yet again.
Yes.
It's been another week in Fluxtaposed land. I hope everything is going well for all of you out there in magic internet space. We've done some things, but Lucas,
yeah.
Most importantly, you had some unfortunateness.
Yes.
Happened to you this past week.
Yes, I did.
Tell me all about it.
I just realized
I need some of the old cough medicine.
Yeah, I do, but I just realized I brought down a glass the exact same as the one that I left down here, and they're both clean looking. And I don't know which one I used and which one I didn't, because I know I used one of these. I think this is the good one. Yeah, I'm going to have a little bit of cough medicine. A little bit of Griffin Claw, which I haven't had in a while. Their copyright ale, which is a cream ale. Yeah, so I'm going to have that for during the show. But that
is not from a beer trade. A beer exchange.
No.
Which we'll be talking about a little more shortly.
Those the one I got in the beer exchange are magnifique, but they're a little heavy. They're a little heavy hitters, and I literally don't have the caloric ability to drink those. So
you're saying sometimes you don't want the Mike Tyson of beer. You want like you want a featherweight maybe.
Yeah, well, that's like I said, that's all I got room for, because my weight loss has not been going so good since after this weekend, but we'll talk about that in a second. So yeah, I woke up, actually it was bothering me since Tuesday. I just had this really weird pain in my jaw. And it wasn't like a toothache. I've had a toothache before. I know what that feels like. It was something much worse. And so I was like, what's going on? So I'm looking at it. And I'm looking it up because, of course, at any time you don't feel good, you got to look it up, and that's always a good idea, right? So I look it up, and
it's only cancer, so I mean,
yeah, everything's cancer all the time. It's always cancer. So I look it up, and it appears that my impacted wisdom tooth, which lots of people can have, it's when your wisdom teeth, if you haven't had it pulled out, they grow in at an angle. They only partially come through your gum line. And so that's what I have. A partially erupted one that's coming in at kind of a weird angle. That's not causing that's secondary to the real problem, which is that Now, I'm sorry, but this is just what it is. It's probably gross, but I'm sorry. I have, so there's still a little bit of gum that overlaps that top of the tooth, and that can get infected if you don't brush back there, or if you don't, take special care of it. You can brush normally and still have pretty good dental hygiene, and it'll still possibility of getting infected, because it's basically a pocket in which, if you're not, it's hard to brush back there, and if you're not cognizant of it, it's going to create problems. And I guess that's what happened. So I called my dentist and I said, hey, this is happening, and they told me what it was. And I said, well, it hurts quite a bit, but I can't, this was about 2 days afterward, because it wasn't getting much better. I said, I can't really come in, because to come in means my wife has to take time off work, and that's not going to happen. So,
yeah.
And I already have a dentist appointment on the 27th, which is about a week from now. So I was like, I can't do 2 in 2 weeks. That would be horrible. So they said, all right, well, just keep taking ibuprofen and swish with salt water, because, salt water, that's really gonna, it'll clean out the area.
That's a heads up that we won't be doing that fixation next week, because you won't be able to talk. Because you're gonna like rip into your mouth and cut everything. It's gonna look like Saw after they're done. And
I hope not. I don't think they can. They probably have to wait a while because of the infection. I'm not taking antibiotics or anything. So
they're gonna give you a Bane mask, and then you'll be like, "Whoa, I like to watch movies too."
Batman, yes. That's probably what will happen. So they said, pretty much, they shrugged and said, I don't know, just deal with it. And so I said, okay. Well, it kind of hurt more after that, and I was kind of under the impression that it would get better eventually, but it is now. It is now. But for a while there, I bought a 50 pill bottle of ibuprofen, and I took the last 2 last night, and I bought that on Wednesday. Oh. So I went through a lot of ibuprofen. Yes, sir. It was swelling like a mother.
Not the international bittering unit kind.
No, I wish it was. But then, what really sucked was I had this thing planned on Saturday, which we both kind of ended up attending.
Yeah.
And I was like, God, I wish I could go, but I probably shouldn't, because I've been taking, a couple days beforehand, I was taking like 2 or 3 ibuprofen every like 4 hours. So I was like, I don't see how I'm going to be able to go to this. So I told everyone I'm not going to be able to go, blah, blah, blah. And then Saturday comes along, and I'm feeling pretty good. And I said, I text you because you're there already. I said, hey, Jason, how bad is it down there? And you're like, it's not that bad. It's like, you should have told me it was bad. Actually, nothing bad came of it, as far as I know, until I have, liver cancer 20 years down the road, and they'll be like, it's that one time you went out drinking when you shouldn't have. So I said, screw it. I'm coming down. I don't even care anymore. I'm coming down. I'm gonna get some beer, because they were doing KBS and CBS by Founders. I never had CBS before, and I sure as hell ain't gonna buy a bottle, because it's too damn expensive, and you have to wait out in the rain and the cold for it. And I get tired of looking at all the people who take pictures of like, I bought 20 cases. Like, I just look at that, I'm like, damn, that's like $1,000 worth of beer. Why would you ever do that? But anyways, it was delicious. I'm so glad I went, and I didn't end up, my liver didn't explode or anything. So I'm glad that I went. We'll talk a little. I'm sure you'll probably
we'll talk
about that a little bit more.
We'll do a little, yeah.
But in general, we'll get into the specifics of it. But in general, I was like, oh, there's going to be beer there. I shouldn't go. And then I said, I'm just going to go. And then lastly, so I had a pretty full weekend despite.
Yeah, I haven't followed up with you about this last one yet. Yeah, I knew it was coming up, but I haven't. I didn't see the results.
So we haven't talked about using our man cards in a while, Jason.
Yeah, I didn't see any like black and white, like slightly angled Instagram shots of like doing some work, laying out the parts, doing the install.
No, I didn't. I tend not to do that, because maybe I thought about it after the job was done, and I was just like, no, I don't want to be that guy.
I mean, your checklist came off Pinterest. I mean, you had everything. I got my pins of how I'm going to install this.
Yes, I needed it to look exactly like somebody else who'd done it, and I put some flowers on it and a bird and an owl or something. I don't know.
Put a bird
Paisley
on
print.
Ooh.
So we had to replace the ball joints in the car. We have a famous road highway structure here in Grand Rapids called the S curves. They are probably the most dangerous thing that we have around here, wouldn't you say, Jason?
Growing up, that's what I was always told. But
in the winter, people would be like, "Oh, you gotta drive slow."
Yeah,
because
that is a little terrifying in the winter. But for people that don't live here in Michigan, we are becoming pretty well known for terrible infrastructure, especially when it comes to budget. And we never have any money for road maintenance. So our roads are always just terrible and crumbling, especially our highways. So everything is just terrible in condition.
It's true.
So it's just a matter of time before your vehicle explodes.
Pure Michigan right there.
Pure
Michigan. So the S curves have always been a problem for our blown out ball joints. Yeah, because that's kind of what keeps your tires straight, along with some other things. So when we'd go on the curves, they'd kind of go like that.
You would be saying that at the end of your weekend you had a blown out ball joint.
Oh, hey oh, I wish. So it was time to replace them. They were getting bad.
Nice Rocco's Modern Life t-shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you. How could you tell just from that little amount of
nerd alert?
Actually, so I was able to Danette's brother was like, "Hey, you need to change these like as soon as possible." He said, "I wouldn't even have you be driving them if it wasn't for the fact that you don't have another car to drive." So
right.
driving that car. So we get to it, and unfortunately, it was a little bit different than what I was expecting because, vehicles are different, obviously, right? So you get in there and you're thinking one thing. I watched some videos, and you were thinking one thing, and it ends up being another thing. So it actually wasn't really that much harder. It was just a different steps to get to where we needed to be. So in the end, it actually wasn't really that bad, but we actually had to unbolt quite a bit of it. So that was that took a while. And then there was this little ring.
I'm sorry. I was thinking it too, and the chat called you out. Vehicles are different, Lucas.
Yeah. Well, if you want wisdom, you come to me, obviously. So anyways, there's this little ring. It's like most axles, they'll have a nut on them that kind of hold all the wheel hub and everything, which is what your tires bolt onto. It's got your rotor and brake caliper. And so to get that off, most of them are just like a lug nut. Like you just would have a socket of some sort that would take that off. This one had rings on it that had little circles drilled into them, and it wasn't like a hex nut or anything. It was just a ring. And so we're looking at this and we're like, how the hell are we supposed to get this off? Do we need a special tool or what are we supposed to do? Because it was clearly threaded on there. It was screwed in, but because of the way that it was on there, I was like, there's nothing to grip onto. How are we supposed to get this out? So we had thought, okay, maybe we need a tool that has 2 pegs on it, use it like a wrench and just spin it around. So we look all over for this part. We can't find it. I start lunch because we have the kids over and everything, and Danette's dad's here, my father-in-law, and her brother. So they go off and start looking for something, and I'm like, I'm going to look and see if there's a video of somebody who's done this before, just on YouTube, this specific car. Because like a rotor job or anything like that, you would have to do this to replace the rotors. So there's got to be somebody who's filmed this. So I look at it, and all they did was they took a screwdriver and they tapped it with a hammer until it like tapped down on it until it like spun a little bit. I went out there and tried it. Sure enough, it just came right loose, and then you could spin it with your fingers. So we were about to buy this like $50 part, and it ended up like we didn't even need to. Thank God we didn't.
Tappy.
Just a little tappa. So
tap it in.
So when the when the wheels just fly off, we'll know why, because I didn't get the tool that's supposed to save our lives.
It's your wife's car, so just up the life insurance a little bit. It's all good.
Yeah, exactly. Well, so that was my contribution to the subject. But we got it all done, and it actually, we didn't really run into that many problems. It wouldn't be a house or car project if you didn't run to the store at least once. So,
yeah,
that was obligatory, but it didn't end up being as bad as I thought. So in the end,
excellent.
We got it done, and the car drives good now. The next thing is to do the suspension, the struts, and the
yeah. I've been putting off a rear suspension, shocks and struts for a while.
Yeah, when your car just bounces after you hit a,
After driving the new car, driving my car is terrible anyway. But now, my car is it's to get me to work. That's its only purpose. Or
true
instances like Saturday where I'm gonna need to go somewhere by myself. Otherwise, my car is not applicable for any situation any longer.
Drive it until the wheels fall off. That's what I did with my Maxima.
Or until at least 4 more years after this car's paid for, and then
4 more years. 4 more years.
Yeah. Why are you saying 4 and I'm drinking gherkins? I don't know.
I mean, that's to each their own.
The chat has told me I've done a lot of jerk off motions tonight. I must just have 40 slips, one thing on the mind. It can't be a coincidence.
I mean, you have good form, so.
I mean, yeah, you don't want the elbow or the shoulder. You don't want a shoulder injury, first of all, and you don't want elbow to come into play too. I mean, you really got to use the whole arm properly. You don't want early fatigue to come into play.
That's true. Well, and you get an elbow coming in out of nowhere that can really ruin the mood. So,
Jesus. Well, on that note, I had again, we're doing preparation for son's first birthday. We're building I don't know what the exact definition would be for it, but it's like an activity wall. So essentially we've got some leftover some wood, appropriate wood.
Good Lord. You can't contain yourself, sir. You're talking about your child here.
Some Keep materials, and basically we'll put a bunch of different things on there. Like I've got a sliding door lock, a doorknob.
Yeah, I've seen them before on Pinterest.
A bunch of things like that. Exactly. For him to play with and stuff. So we got all the supplies from a hardware store. So we did my hardware perusal. Did all that shopping. So we'll be building that this week before his birthday on Saturday. And then, this was I don't know, it was really it might have been because it was finally warm enough we could go outside.
Yes.
And actually not be locked inside the house. So it's had a really cool weekend. Aiden took his semi first unassisted steps, stumbling and bumbling a little bit on his own, which was awesome to see. And we took him out onto the sidewalk with one of his little carts, and he pushed it 30 feet up and down the sidewalk. Nice. But the highlight, it's been a long time since I've done anything social, not on the internet, in person with actual people since the last Battle of the Beer. So, we had St. Patrick's Day, and then there's a bottle shop in downtown Grand Rapids called the Craft Beer Cellar. So that they were celebrating not only St. Patrick's Day, but their first anniversary of business. So some of our, actually the other 2 guys that work on Battle of the Beer with us were going down there. So, and you weren't sure if you were going to go, and then I was debating if I was going to go or not, because I didn't know Mike was going to be there first. I thought Mike was out. I don't really know Chad that well, so I was like, "Oh, it's going to be awkward." I don't, And I was like, "I really need this. I should just go regardless."
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did, because they have I don't know how after a business like that, it's every bottle shop needs to be like this. If you're going to go buy beer, why wouldn't it be at a place that has a bar and 12 beers on tap as well?
Because that's how Horrocks does it, and I mean, I see people walking around there with beer all the time.
Yeah, it's it's perfect. They got board games there and stuff, but they have a great beer selection. They were, like Lucas mentioned, they tapped at 4 p.m. They tapped KBS and CBS Kentucky Breakfast Stout, Canadian Breakfast Stout, which is a white whale, so to speak, in the craft beer snobbery. Very hard. I don't think it's as hard to get as it once was. You know, it gets a lot of distribution now, but it's ultra popular, high rated.
It's expensive. I'll tell you that much.
It's the Founder's Breakfast Stout that's been aged in Kentucky bourbon barrels for multiple years. It's good. Don't get me wrong. It's good. I don't think it quite lives up to, like, it's put on a pedestal now, and it's so hyped, and it's a so amazing beer. I don't think it's quite that amazing, but I mean, it's still a good beer, but I mean, not for how much. Like a 4-pack is going to set you back $20, and that's just,
yeah. The thing is, it's a great beer, but it's not worth the hassle that they put around it. That's the real problem.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's what keeps me from really even enjoying it, and this is why it's the first time I've had it was because, much like, you know, Fruitwood or which aren't even that high of like as big of a deal because they haven't been out as long, but like Fruitwood and Lizard of Cause and a lot of their other beer, they do this thing where like they hype it up so much and it's Founders, so it gets a lot of hype already anyways, that it just makes me want to go, ugh, I'm not even going to bother trying to get any of that.
Yeah. And from some of those that aren't familiar with Founders, that is the second largest brewery in our state. Probably, I would say, probably one of the most popular breweries in our state. And they had Canadian breakfast stout on tap as well, which I enjoy more. And I was actually really pumped that I finally got to try Dogfish Head 120-minute IPA, because I've never had that. And 18% IPA, that's like insanely powerful. But I'm glad I finally could try that. And probably like a small highlight, they have a brewery that I'm really fond of because I've been to it a few times when my wife was working in the city, is Grand Armory Brewing. That's in a lakeshore town of Grand Haven here in Michigan. We're about 35-40 minutes from that, where Lucas and I are located. And one of our camera guys, directors, Mike, was up talking to him, and said something about the beer, and I mentioned something. I don't know what he exactly mentioned. Or Mike was a little inebriated at that time, so I don't know quite how the story went exactly. But basically, the guy goes, "Oh yeah, you're the guys that had our beer up against Clown Shoes." This guy actually recognized us from Battle of the Beer, which is like the first time that's ever happened. And like we had a brewery give us recognition for one of the videos we've done. So it was like, yes. This is like life affirming,
Yeah, no kidding.
I will say this. I was just thinking about it today too. I was like, the season break, well, you don't think about it, but now that we're like well in the mix of it, it's very refreshing and recharging, because now I'm like looking forward to doing it again. Me too. About making the videos again. Whereas by the time the season's over and self-doubt and our habit of self-depreciation and depression, we're just like,
why are we fucking
doing
this?
Why are we doing this? Everybody
watches.
This is dumb. And so you get to the end, and then you get that little break. You're like, okay, this is awesome. Let's go do it again. So I am looking forward to another season. It was cool to have that somewhat experience, and they were giving free tastings, so I got free beer out of it as well. So, jumping back to your comment about like the beers and how sought after they are. Like it's like I think of Free Floyd's has their Dark Lord, which is their dark beer, and it's basically available one day out of the year. They have like Dark Lord Day, and it's like the only time you can get it. And
fuck that.
Or like I almost did it one time. It was they had it on tap at one of the bars here in town, Pliny the Elder. I'm sure you've heard of that. That's like one of the highest rated beers, like on Beer Advocate and stuff. But it was like, I think a 6-ounce pour was like $10.
Oh,
I'm like, it just isn't.
That's the only thing you're getting.
I love craft beer, but I'm not that. And like, I love Chad, but he bought 16 ounces,
12-ounce pours, I think, of
two 12-ounce pours for $25. Two 12-ounce pours.
I thank him for it, because he saved me the $6 it would have cost for me to get the freaking 5-ounce pour or whatever. Just like,
thank you, Josh. Josh knows the brewery. I clearly not. That's Russian River Brewing Company makes Pliny.
What's the one that does the zombie dust or crop dust or?
That's Three Floyds as well.
Yeah, that's one I know that people were talking, because you had that before, right?
I've not had zombie dust. I had one of their beers on the air one time. Was I had that corn beer that one of my coworkers gave me. I had that bomber during the show, but I've always wanted to stop there, but I just don't go to Chicago anymore very often, and that is a somewhat on the way stop. You have to go a little bit out of your way to get there. But
wow.
Yeah, I mean, since we're talking about beer, this is a perfect time to transition from for those. We mentioned on the show a few times. We had this is now that it's all been successfully concluded. We've done our first trade, so to speak, of the Fluxtaposed beer exchange.
Yes,
I want to thank everybody that signed up for the inaugural experiment. We had Callow and Kevin and Matt and Denny, yourself, myself, Josh, and Serge. Thanks to you guys for signing up and making it successful. It was cool just to have we had a purpose for the Fluxtaposed Discord. It's been kind of a quiet place, but it's cool to just have our beer geek outs. And I've always wanted to do a beer trade, and Matt kind of preemptively got me into that when he was like, I'm going to send you some beer. And I was like, well, I can't be a douche. I got to send them something back, and it's just,
for sure.
It's a nerve-wracking experience. Speaking of which, congratulations to Matt and his family. They just had their third child this past week. So Matthias Knight was born. So congratulations to you guys. It's a very nerve-wracking process because, you're technically, I mean, if you really want to get into the semantics of it, it's illegal. You're not supposed to, especially through the post office, but there's a lot of states.
Well, no. Oh yeah, maybe that
it does not allow you to ship beer into unless it would go through a distributor. There's quite a Michigan's not one of them, but there's quite a handful of states that don't allow any shipments because technically you're not supposed to be doing any transportation of alcohol unless you have a license to do so. But at the same time, it's a bit of a gray area because while USPS is prohibits it, but like FedEx and UPS know people are going to do it, so it's kind of like
and we're not
kind of like a don't ask, don't tell scenario,
and we're not distributing to a person who's going to start a bar. We're not moving like 8,000 units or something like that.
So the first thing, like if this is something you're looking to get, first of all, I'm going to get this out of the way right now. You need to avoid sticker shock because it's going to be more expensive than you think to ship beer, regardless of. I think when I sent Matt just 3 cans, I sent him 2 cans in a bottle. I think that was somewhere between $10 and $15, and that was from Grand Rapids to Rochester, New York, which is probably 300-ish, maybe 400-ish miles. So especially if you're doing across the continent. So that's the big thing. I mean, you're probably going to be looking at spending, $20 to $30 to ship it, depending on size and weight. And don't skimp on packaging. Like I can't overstate that enough.
Ask Kevin about it.
Yes, ask Kevin Austin. Packaging. I've done it with bubble wrap. I've done it with grocery bags. The tip that you had shared that I think I'd never thought of before, that if you're going to do like a 6-pack, double box it. So you have all your beer wrapped and packaged inside a box, and then that box is put inside another box, which then has some padding in between the two. It just gives you an extra level of protection.
Well, especially after we saw some crazy person just decided to stab one of the boxes with a screwdriver or whatever. It's like,
so
damn.
Unfortunately, I give Kevin shit all the time. It's no fault of his own. Unfortunately, his shipment to me did not make it. So it sucked when I found out, but I always said this. I said this look straight away. I'm glad it happened to either you or I, because I feel like it's just better that way. I'd hate to have it 2 other guys that got paired up that wouldn't get a successful trade. So I'm glad it happened to one of us. It's unfortunate. Like at the same moment he received my shipment, he got a notice from UPS saying that there was a damage claim on his beer and it had been disposed. So we thought immediately like something just busted. And they just threw the whole package out. Little did we know, like the next week, he actually received the package back, and he sent 7 bottles, and now there are only 5 in there, I believe. So 2 had busted, and there was the remaining bottles were sticky. So at some point, one of the bottles must have broken. I'm surprised that they just threw those out though, and didn't toss the whole thing. I'm surprised they actually sent them back. But I think
me too.
I think he thinks one of the bottles is missing too. So like maybe they sniped a bottle of beer. I don't know. So that's one unfortunate thing. But at least I know Kevin really well. So it's not like it's 2 people that wouldn't know each other well enough, and that has that awkward thing of, well, my beer busted. How are you gonna make this right? Not so much make it right, but how are you gonna work out that? Right, it's just easier because Kevin and I know each other. and it was, it wasn't a big deal. I mean, yeah, it's disappointing, but it's going to happen. You know, it's nothing you can control. And like Lucas mentioned, yeah, when he got his box back, it literally the box that I sent him, it literally like somebody took a screwdriver and stabbed it through the side of the box. Like one of the cans was slightly dented because of it. And it's like, what the heck happens with these packages? What exactly?
You never know. You never know. Well, and we put it in because we try to make sure that we know we're prepared for these types of things to happen. So anything that we thought could happen, we kind of already sort of, there's like a loose agreement that everyone looked at and read and kind of agreed to. Not that it's like contractually binding, but if you don't put those into words and have something to refer to later, then there's always going to be that one person, and you never know. I'm not saying anybody in specifically or even in this group right now, but if it grows or, if other people join that we don't know that well, you never know. Somebody else is going to be a stinker about it and get all pissy.
Right. And I think if something happened where there was really bad situation, we absolutely had to, we step in, Flux was empty and say, hey, we do have, we can at least maybe refund the cost of shipping for somebody. If someone like completely hosed somebody and just, disappeared after something went wrong, some weird outline experience that I hope we never have to worry about. So, I would say, don't skimp on the packaging. And basically after this, there's like for $5, we can get some actually like beer shipping containers, which I think we've all decided that's a pretty good investment. To do.
Yeah.
It's just just stressful because the whole time you're like, oh God, I hope you're like, oh, I hope my package doesn't get seized. Oh, what if they find out it's beer? I hope it makes it to this. I hope it's okay. I hope they like it. It's just like so many things. You're just like, at least me personally, I like getting neurotic about.
I do too. I'm waiting because I sent beer to Callow. I was the first one to receive my beer. He sent his like super early, and it got here. Well, not super early, but early.
Callow's a pimp.
He is, and he sent me some great stuff, and I've tried all of it, and I still have some left, but he's not on Untapped, or at least he is, and he's not using it. And so I'm just like, oh God, I hope he likes the stuff I sent him. Now, from what I can tell, because I may have done a little creeping on his Twitter, from what I can tell, he's only had 2 of them, and he's liked them so far, but I think he's probably keeping it a little interspersed with other beer more so than I did, because I drank, I had like one every other night, at least at first when I first got mine, just because I was like, oh, I can't wait to try, every single one of these. But I was kind of lucky in the sense, like, he sent me duplicates of the 4 brands or the 4 kinds that he sent me. And at first I was kind of like, oh, I'd like to have tried a little bit more. But at the same time, I'm kind of glad that I have duplicates because I can go back and taste it. Like the coffee porter I had on the show, and I didn't really rate it or anything. So I want to go back and try it again. So that's kind of nice.
Another word of advice, make sure you let the person know that you shipped it and send them the tracking information. So for people that don't know and know, Tom Servo in the chat is how I have this new microphone. We made it. He had a Yeti that he wasn't using, that was just sitting there. So we made a transaction, and he sent me the Yeti. And as part of the deal, I was going to send him my old Snowball because I don't need any more, and he just wants to be able to, record guitar or something with it and when down the road. And I'm not going to use it now that I have the Yeti. And I just took forever to send it to him. And so finally this weekend I did, totally forgot, got busy, didn't send him the tracking information. Well, he's near the Austin, Texas area. So if you've been familiar with the news right now, there's been a series of bombings taking place. So all of a sudden he has a suspicious random package show up at his house. So make sure you notify the person that you sent. Ooh, I drink your milkshake.
I was trying to do Price is Right, Losing Horn, but apparently it's not on my computer anymore, so it went to the next one. Yeah. Bum, 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 bum. That's horrible. I didn't even know about that until basically it already happened.
Yeah. So now I will say overall I feel more confident in the process, but I don't have any good, I don't have any good Amazon supplies. Like, I saved up a bunch of Christmas boxes specifically for this stuff, and now most of my stock is gone now. But
Hey, just
I
get
don't
an
know.
impacted wisdom tooth, and you won't drink anything.
Yeah.
I'm still
Yeah,
drinking. Right? I still have like Irish beer that I bought last weekend, thinking I would have it gone by this weekend, and that didn't happen.
Yeah.
So, by the way, I just want to point out that I said something really dumb, like not 20 seconds ago. I realized that nobody would know what happened in the news until after it happened. Because I said I didn't know about it until after it happened. I meant like days after it happened. Because I know there's going to be one asshole who's going to be like,
know it happened but then it happened, and then I knew it.
Yeah. I don't want the FBI looking into me either, because I said, you said it all awkwardly and weird. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Anyways, I just want to make that clear.
So for anyone that, missed the signups for the first exchange, we are doing them bi-monthly. So we're going to have a little break. And then we'll, some of the guys like, Matt had a baby. It's going to be sold his house, bought a new house. He's going to be moving. Some of the other guys have stuff going on too. So, we're not going to just assume because you did it 1 month, you're in for the next one. So we'll do open signups. I think it's the best way to do it. We'll do an open sign up before each exchange. So if you want to get in on it, we'll publish the details again to join in, and we'll just keep it rolling like that. So if you missed the first exchange and it's something you're looking forward to want to do, by all means, we'll publicize that, and you can sign up and then have beer. Unless if you get paired with me, it better effing make it.
That's true. Expect to pay about 40 U.S. American dollars for shipping and for the beer. By the way, in case you're new to this whole thing, which I am, but I'm not new to the expensive price of beer. But that's kind of where we're sitting. I think is $20 for the beer, $20.
$15 to $20 for the beer, depending if you go like the guys are working it out if they're doing a six pack or more, or 16. That's all being worked out by the individuals, and then your shipping costs are really extreme. Like I think this time we had Matt shipping to Denny, so that's New York to Idaho, and we had Josh and Serge, which is Massachusetts to Nevada. So I mean, that's about extreme as you're going to get. And like oddly enough, like myself to Kevin it's so weird. Like mine to Kevin was like $10 more than Kevin to mine. It's just really weird. But
like I said,
clearly I packaged it better.
Oh,
sorry, Kev. Last time.
Shots fired, everybody. Shots fired, and it's not the last time. Don't make promises you can't keep. He was the first one to have something happen to his package.
I thought it was too good to be true, especially a bunch of guys that had never done it before. I'm like, there's no way we're gonna get through this unscathed. And I did. I typed in Discord. I was like, oh, this is awesome. And then, sure enough, like literally 10 minutes later, Jason.
Horrible. So if you wanna burn $50, then because we're doing such a great job of what is it? We had 6 people altogether.
Counting us, we had 8 people total.
8 people, so 7 out of 8. Yep. That's a pretty good.
I think that's a good. I'll take that.
We learned our lessons.
Yeah,
I do want to say before we move on that I think with buying these shippers and then packaging that into another box is really going to help.
The double boxing.
I think
like double bagging.
I do know that I think they have random X-ray checkpoints at certain ones. So I do think that's about the only way that after that, if they do work as well as intended, because they're like FedEx and UPS approved or some crazy thing like that. Yeah. So I think that's the only way that we would get.
I guess one thing we didn't mention too is they are going to typically ask quid you're shipping, or what are you shipping, which is funny because when I shipped the microphone, they didn't. I told them, I don't know what Jess told them, but like Kevin told them, said it was video games, but be honest, you can tell them it's liquid. You don't have to say, don't say it's beer, but I mean, you can say like, oh, we're soda, or
dude, take it to a drop-off point where it's not UPS, like it's just a store or something.
This is active yeast cultures.
I've seen that one. I was gonna say barbecue sauce,
but just be vague.
I've seen people put like Tic Tacs in there, and they'll put like 1 or 2 Tic Tacs to cover up the sloshing noise. But if you do it too bad, then they'll start thinking it's broken, and they'll open it.
If you have it packaged well, though, I don't think sloshing's up there, because I didn't hear that. I didn't hear that at all. So
I'm gonna say dildos, sex toys. Then they won't open it.
Well, on that note, yeah. We'll check, we'll publicize the next sign up on social media and, on our Discord. And if you ever want to hang out with us in Discord, you can go right on our website. There's links, I think towards the bottom of the page. It says, oh my God, or join us on Discord, and you hit that button. It'll automatically generate you an invite to hang out with us. The Beer Exchange is an invite only channel if you're active in the exchange. So if you sign up, just let me know. We'll get you in there. Lucas, let's do some Overclocked remix for you guys that may not have listened to the show, which probably is no one new at this point. we like to it is sad, but I accept it now. We like to publicize, have fun. We're big fans of Overclocked remix, so every week we like to pick a random remix for the latest list on the front page, and we play it here on the show. And we have this fancy randomizer that does it every time because Lucas built it. He coded it. He built it physically out of erector sets and Lincoln Logs and Tinker Toys.
That's true. And sex toys. I will say this. I have never lied about the number that has come up, but I really want to because I have never heard of this game. So
what did you get?
It's number
Dance
11.
Dance Revolution Extreme?
I wish. At least I've heard of that. Number 11, which is Arquista's Ring. And somebody's going to be like, what? Never heard of that?
I've never heard of that.
It's a NES game.
Also, Dude 427 comes in the chat and makes me eat my words. I say that there's no new people, and he's like, actually, I'm a new person. Well, thank you for stopping by. But
he's like, he walked in the door, and then you said that, and he immediately turned around and left.
It's like that. It's like that Simpsons gif where Abe walks in to the
and he sees Bart.
And walks back out. Walks back out. I'm fine with skipping this. Apparently, it's an NES game, but
I don't know. Should we go? Let's ask chat. What do you guys think?
All right.
Should we go for it, or should we?
Yeah. Do we play Arquista's Ring, or do we spin it back up? Just like in that Netflix show I like, you spin them up.
Oh gosh, yes you do.
It's one vote for roll it.
Roll it.
Oh, that's two.
All right. Well, you talk about it, and I'll download it.
All right. Our remix this week, it comes from Arquista's Ring. It was released in 1990 on the the NES. Our songs are The Dungeon and the title screen. Ooh, it's prog rock. I think that's gonna be right up Mr.
Hell
Tom
yeah.
alley.
I'm digging.
Genre is prog rock. Mood is energetic. Instrumentation is electric guitar, organ, and synth. I am in. Our music is by Cecilia Okumura. And our remixer is Lonely Rolling Stars. I have not. Does it say who published this? Our American Sammy is our publisher or developer of this game. So it was licensed by Nintendo of America. I've never heard of it. So
I'm gonna have to play this right off the YouTube link because I cannot find the download link on here. Normally it's in green and it's like right there, but do you see it on your page?
Yeah, I've got it.
I do not. I don't know. I tried resizing the window. That's why Jason got covered up. And I literally do not see the green download link at all. So I'll just play it from the YouTube link.
Okay. Do you want me to try sending you it? Or
no, I think it'll be okay. Let me hit play and make sure it's going to... Yeah, it'll play. No.
Okay, so this is Arquista Girl, and I liked it. It's from Arquista's Ring. And as always, if you remix, you can find it and many more at ocremix.org. So we're going to play the remix, take a quick break, and we'll come back in to hit up what you're playing, round out the show, and get you out of here and onto your better and better lives. So, Lucas, let's play the song. Hopefully it doesn't lag out, and we'll be right back.
Okay.
Metal Gear.
Well, that was amazing.
Woo, woo! I was waiting for like that overarching, like just like some finger tapping.
I'm
coming
surprised
in with like some arpeggios or maybe some octaves coming in, or
yeah, it didn't feel too progressive to me, or at least not
I wanted
on
like that. I wanted like that Protest of the Hero crazy like lead to come in there and like
It was pretty good though. I'm glad that we picked it because it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
It wasn't. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's the thing. We might not have heard the game, but there's probably a reason someone's remixing the music because it might have a catchy riff or theme or loop or something that's got to have something. And they had it in there. I liked it. It was good. It was good. I'm sorry I doubted it. I'm sorry I kissed this. I'm sorry.
You got it. Okay, sorry. If Tom Servo's
from
gonna
now on, we'll only veto Castlevania.
If Tom Servo's gonna make fun of things that I've said, he should have made fun of what you just said. It's got to have something in there, and this one did, or whatever you just said. We're full of wisdom tonight.
If you listen to a song, you're gonna want it to have a thing, and this one had something.
This one had something to it, and it was there, and I heard it.
It was there. All right. What can I say? I'm a wordsmith. I am a wordsmith, which is why I did not win at Scrabble.
You do the English good. I do. We didn't even talk about that. Not that we need to make it a thing, but I walk into the store, and these guys are playing Scrabble, of all things. I say to myself, Scrabble? Who plays Scrabble? Grandma.
It wasn't my vote, but we played it. We went from playing Sushi Go to Scrabble.
Oh, I love Sushi Go.
Yeah, that's fun. I like that game. I forgot to do it at the top of the show. Reminder, next week is the last episode of the month, so that means it is a Netflixation episode where we had the entire month to watch a Netflixation. We're going to break it down. And only the way that Fluxtaposed can give us our thoughts on the movie, and most importantly, tell you if it was good or if it was a pile of flux to poop.
Flux
to poopy. So we are watching Mute next week, in preparation for next week. So you want to make sure you fire up your Netflixation streaming machines and watch the whole movie on Netflix. So unless you wanted to get it spoiled for you, and we can do that too. I mean, we're just going to tell everything about the movie, and
yeah.
That's how I do it. It's not a, we don't go super in depth, and we're not like, and we spend 50 minutes on it. We try to, it's still like, a 20 to 30 minute conversation about the film. And, I hopefully it's enjoyable for people that have or have not watched the movies. So.
I'd say it's helpful. I'd say it's helpful for both parties. Cause if you've watched it, you can commiserate or enjoy what we're saying about it and be like, yeah, but if you didn't watch it, then we're either trying to get you to watch it or tell you to stay away from it. So either way, right. I feel like it's a win. It's what they call a win-win situation, Jason.
Yeah. Yeah. So on that note, since we're talking about winning, why not talk some what you plan?
That's a victory.
That's Shovel Knight, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, gosh, I can't wait for that the newest expansion for that. Can't wait.
I still need to play that. I got it on my wish list. Steam going to tell me when it goes on sale.
You've never played Shovel Knight?
Hell no.
Oh, dude, I can't believe I skipped it. I had it on the Wii U and I just never played it. And then once I got it on Switch, I played the poopy out of it, and I love it. I love that game so much. I can't wait. Plague Knight, Plague of Shadows, you can skip that. I mean, it's okay, but so good.
What do you mean?
So good. But that's not what I'm talking about here.
Plague Knight. Wait. Oh, yeah. That's a whole rabbit hole we don't need to go down.
I'm not here to talk about Shovel Knight. So, you might remember a past episode of Fluxtaposed where my wife and I, previously on Fluxtaposed, and then we cut and you do a quick recap and do all the stuff. No. A few months ago, my wife and I tried to watch Tania.
Yes, I remember this.
We failed at that, so it's now available at Redbox. So keeping our streak going of watching Academy Award nominated films, this past week we watched Tania and the Florida Project, two very different films. Tania.
The Florida Project was directed by the same guy who did the Oh, what was the Tangerine, which you loved. Yep. I know you like that one.
I love the walking with the beats.
And the sassiness.
Tania, I don't know what to make of that because I've seen so much about the story and everything going on behind that, and it's like I don't know what I believe at that point, but I will say that I did enjoy the film. Like Allison Janney, she like steals that. She like steals this as playing the mother. Like her role is incredible. I think that's like the best part of the film. But Margot Robbie is great as Tanya Harding as well. Really an enjoyable film overall. It had some, wasn't quite everything I expected it to be, but it was still a good it was a good watch I had. And then like Florida Project, I don't know what to say about that. Like it's an extremely well done movie, but at the same time when you're done watching it, you just feel horribly depressed because it's a snapshot of what life is like for some people, some unfortunate people, and it's horrible. If you're unfamiliar, it profiles mainly this mother and daughter that live in a hotel, like not a nice one. I mean, it's like $30-something a week to.
Oh, so it's like one of the ones.
It's like $35 a night. I think they charge. So it's people in the long term situation. It's I don't know. It's something you just kind of think you have to see. Willem Dafoe was nominated for Best Supporting Actor for it. I'm nothing against him because he is great in this, but I'm not really sure. Like his part is like, I guess I don't understand why it was deserving of that nomination, because I don't feel like it was. I didn't like after I watched. I didn't feel like blown away by his performance.
William Dafoe.
Yeah, William Dafoe. Yeah. Not to say that what he did was bad. I was just like with the part itself. I didn't think it was that. I don't know.
You didn't understand what made it so.
Right, and especially when you had these other the girl in the film, for her age, does a remarkable job, and her mother. This was her first acting role.
Well, you can't nominate her if it's her first. Come on.
I know. I just think there's some other people that in some other parts that are unknowns that did remarkably well. So, we watched that as well. And finally, on the Nintendo Switch. I'm still playing. I'm having more fun with Flint Hook, but man, that game is hard as balls. I'm on the third boss now, and literally, I played it. I probably sunk like 2 or 3 hours into it one day, and I was actually able to reach the boss once, and I died horribly. So,
and that means you got to start all over, right? Or not all over, but from the beginning of the level.
So I have to clear 5 stages to get to the boss now. So if I die at the boss, it's back, and you have to clear the 5 stages.
It's again. Like the Dark Souls of roguelikes.
It's a difficult game, but it's fun. It's still fun. But my main focus was a game that I couldn't wait to play. It came out on the eShop last week, Thursday, or last week, Friday. It's called what's Thursday? It's called The Long Reach. It's available on Steam, and it was available on Steam already. But it also released, I believe, on PS4. I'm not sure if it came to Xbox, but it came to Switch. It is a horror-themed adventure game. It's not a point-and-click adventure. It's like a side-scrolling adventure game, so you control your character and you're picking up, objects and interacting with the environment. It's all pixel art. It has this cool, like, synth soundtrack, and I was like, Donnie from BSVG got me so hyped about this game because he loves horror games, and he's the first one that like got me excited about it because it has this cool genre. It takes place in New Hampshire. There's people getting murdered, and it's like this freaky. Like, it doesn't really tell you, like in the trailer, you can't tell if is it like are there people being possessed? Is it like these creatures? What's going on? But people are killing each other. You don't know why. So it's kind of like, it's got this whole like psycho overarching theme too. And like just the way the game starts, there's an intro. You just walk into a convenience store and there's a guy just standing there not saying anything. You go into a back room. You come back, and all of a sudden he's like having a seizure. You go to call 911. You come back to the room, and everyone's dead. Like, what is going on? And so you're kind of unraveling the mystery. But unfortunately, as much as I liked about the game, it's got some major issues. Like, I actually, like 30 minutes in, I encountered a progress halting bug, like completely game breaking bug. where my character's a specific NPC that has to chase you. He's psychotic and he'll try to kill you. He'll chase you through it. You enter a door, it transitions to another scene. He'll actually chase you into the other scene. So there's a specific spot in this game where he had to chase you to in order to have something happen. He wouldn't chase me, or he would, but he wouldn't chase me through the door. And then if I came back through the door, I could actually watch him just walk off the screen and he's gone. He'd leave the game. And if I left that room and came back, he'd still be gone. But I'd go into a locker room and it shows like this little like indication on the game that there's an enemy there. All of a sudden I'd see that indicator on the corner of the screen. And if I stood there, he would be invisible, but he would come back into the game and kill me. And then I could reload and try again. But it would just always happen. Or I could run past him, because if you got close to him, he had like you can't tell. He's either got a pipe or a machete. He would kill you as soon as you got close to him. But if I ran past him, I would be like, the game would break and he could swing at me, but it wouldn't hurt me. And then one of two things would either happen. He would either like lose track of me and he would just walk off screen again. That whole invisibility loop would happen again. Or he would keep trying to attack me and chase me, but he still couldn't, do anything to me. So I like messaged the devs on Twitter. I think I think they're in the Czech Republic. I can't remember. They're somewhere in that part of Europe. And a little bit of language barrier, but not bad. They
That's what I was wondering.
They DM'd me immediately back. I was like telling them what was going on. Originally I sent them just like a video recording of me playing in the tablet mode because I wanted to get over to them. And then the Friday morning, early morning, I recorded the gameplay and sent that to them on YouTube because I wanted to help them fix it. I understand that things happen. It can always be sort of impossible to catch all the bugs through testing, until you get it in users' hands and you've got thousands of people playing things differently. You're going to probably encounter more than what is possible in a testing schedule. So it's something they're working on. And I've noted in other reviews, people had bugs too, not maybe this specific one. I had one late in the game where I turned invisible. I could still interact with the game as I needed to. So as soon as I progressed to the next scene, it was fine. The problem was, like, as cool as all of it was and overlooking the bugs, like the story just gets really weird. And like the ending still makes no sense to me. So it's unfortunate because I feel like there's a big disconnect with what this game could have been and what it actually is. And the fact that, Thursday I hit that game altering bug. Friday morning after I sent them the video, I restarted the game and started playing from scratch again. And so just through the combination of downtime at work and my lunch break, I finished the game on Friday. So I bet you from start to finish, I could probably get through this game in under 2 hours now. Probably 3 hours tops you're looking at playtime on this. And that's just depending on how long you might get stuck on a puzzle. I don't find like any of them are too, like, it's not like The Dig where it's super obscure and it makes no sense. All the puzzles for the most part do make logical sense and they're kind of linear with the environment. So yeah, I think you will get past them, but it's just extremely short. So unfortunately the narrative doesn't quite make up for the length in this aspect. So I felt a little disappointed with it. I mean, if I would probably score it somewhere in like a 6 out of 10 if I was going to give it a numerical value, or some mostly positive, but still it just leaves you wanting more. So I'm like really excited about like that whole psychological horror aspect on the game. I wish there was more of that, because like we see, to get you an idea, it's like this laboratory that's experimenting with giving people like your type. It's crazy distracting.
Sorry, I actually have it.
You're like,
I have it. If it makes you feel better, I have it muted for the audience so they can't hear it.
Oh, good. Okay, so that's not bad.
You brought me into this. You told me to buy a mechanical keyboard.
Don't worry, not so much. But it's like these, like your character, for instance, all of a sudden he's playing Mozart and he can never play piano before. So that's what they're experimenting with, and all of a sudden it goes haywire and people are acting crazy. So that whole idea and the way experimenting with the mood via the sounds and interactions, and it just had so much more promise for me, and it was just kind of a letdown. So
the way that you were explaining the way that would you say that guy is like the main antagonist, I guess, the one that follows you around?
No, actually he only appears he appears in that sequence, and he may or may not appear later in the game. Like there's really like there's no one antagonist.
Okay.
there's like an entity that the people speak of. Like, there's some people that talk about worshiping this guy called Alan, and is Alan a person? Is he an AI? What's going on? You know,
the one true God, Alan.
It's just a lot of convoluted ideas that they don't really explain it all.
My whole point was that I wasn't asking about the narrative specifically. I was just wondering because the way that you describe the way that he works is reminiscent to me of Clock Tower for the PlayStation.
Oh yeah, I mean, in that specific, in the couple sequences, or you might encounter other characters like him. They fit that bill. Yeah, I mean that's what they're doing. There's no like enemies otherwise you're encountering like that. It's just more like, you know.
Right. Totally, man, for sure. I get you.
Sorry, I don't know.
Sorry for typing.
I don't play too many horror games. So
no. If you're gonna say that, you need to say it like this. I don't really play too many horror games, so.
I mean, going into it, I think I was expecting a little like Red type stuff, and I said I was expecting a little more enemies to deal with, and like to be freaked out, to not want to go into this room because I heard this weird sound coming from there, and it kind of let me down. So
was it a walk left to right simulator?
Yeah.
Okay.
Walk left to right, and then your little icon, like when you can interact with an object, either pick it up or describe it. It's highlighted in yellow.
Oh. There's a game that I have on my wish list that is similar, and I've been wanting to play it, but I feel like it's a little expensive for what you get. Lone Survivor, that's what it is. But I've heard that a similar style, 2D
Lone Survivor,
pixel.
Down too long in the midnight sea.
Yes, exactly. It's and I feel like that might be more what you're looking for. Although I haven't played it, so I don't know how weird it is, but I've heard it kind of said that it's sort of like Silent Hill, but 2D.
You know, I almost got this on Wii U, like during like Donnie, again bringing up Donnie because I always talk about playing creepy games.
Damn it, Donnie!
And this was on Wii U for a bit, and I kind of looked at it, and this did remind me. When I saw The Long Reach, I kind of remembered this game. I thought
also. I was just gonna say. Also, I thought it was funny that we couldn't, like, when you were trying to tell me about The Long Reach, you told me it was The Long Dark, and then I was like, what's that other game coming out that we're looking forward to, which is the Longest Night, or The Longest Night. So it's like night. How many freaking
the last night.
The last night. So how many the Long
Reach was Lucas's code name back in high school for what he'd do from the back seat.
It's true. I had exceptionally long forearms. Not long arms, just really long forearms, so I could really just get in there.
I think the idea of like a 2D pixely horror game is really and like exciting to me for some reason.
Well, especially now that you can do a little bit more, even within the context of a 2D construct, you can still do more than you could back in the day on PlayStation or even SNES or whatever. Tom Servo says you should try Outlast. Now you know that I've played that because I have some of that streaming.
I've watched a little bit of it.
That game is scary. I was very scared when I played it. And I have video proof, and I wasn't just doing it for... I happened to be recording, but I was actually scared. And then when I got my VR headset, I was able to make it sort of work for that game, and it was way worse. It's one of those games where you're just like... You play it for like 30 minutes, and you're like, all right, I have to be done because I cannot handle this anymore. Because that game's all about jump scares for the most part, and there are some very effective... unfair. Like, if this happened in a movie, I would be pissed and be like, whatever, this movie sucks. But for some reason in a video game, I give it a bit of a pass. So is that everything?
That's everything for me.
I kind of didn't mean to cut you off there.
We all done.
All right.
Be gone.
We all done. All right. Well, I guess I'll talk about some stuff.
Come
for a
on,
little
get your ride.
Oh gosh, catch a ride. That's a game nobody plays. I have the pre-sequel to Borderlands, and I have not even fired that up yet.
I've had no desire to play that.
I have a small desire to play it, but
I'll play Borderlands 3, but not that.
Wait, Borderlands 3. The new is that the next one coming out?
I'm sure there'll be one at some point.
Oh, so you're saying you want to skip the pre-sequel? Is what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I mean, the story in the world is so rich that, I mean, I feel like there's a huge mistake. But if that's what you want to do, I guess you're willing to take that risk. Is what's important here.
I am.
So I've been playing Payday 2, and you're probably thinking, what the hell? God. Blast from the past.
You know, I saw Russ randomly pop up, I think yesterday, on my Steam friends list. It said Payday 2, and I was like, Aaron, you're just in time. Lucas is going to talk about Payday 2.
I am going to talk about Payday 2 because actually Russ was the one who asked me, now that he's settled in Indiana, he asked me if I wanted to play, and I said, sure. It's funny because lately I've played one other game, which was Bayonetta, and I probably only played that for about 2 hours this week. Everything else, I didn't really do anything. I've been playing catch-up at work, which I do on my off time. I try to juggle that with, doing the stuff that I want to do. And so typically, if I'm doing well, I'll do the work during the day. Like, Jason, you know that because I'll typically talk to you or tell you about what's going on while I'm trying to do it. And then in the evening, I'll have that time off. So, but last week was terrible. I had to play catch up the whole time. But anyways, so he asked me over the weekend if I wanted to play, and I was like, sure, that actually sounds like a lot of fun. And I hadn't played Payday 2 in years, not since it first came out.
I'll tell you the last time I played it. I'll look it up.
That'd probably be the last time I played it then.
You know, I enjoyed Payday when we played it, but the problem is I only want to play Payday if we have a full squad. I don't want to play Payday with any randoms because it's just going to be
randoms
not fun.
Well, see, that's the thing too, is like we played with 2 randoms, and now they've done things that like you can prestige. I don't know if it's prestige, but it seems like you can level up multiple times to 100. And there were some people who clearly had more perks than me or were running faster, and I'm just like, okay, I'll meet you guys at the end of the level, and you guys do all the stuff while I just stand here and make money, I guess.
Because the idea of like trying to pull off a heist without being like setting off the cops is always like that's a challenge, and it was always felt really rewarding when we go in, body bag, haul this, neutralize the camera, do all these things in unison and synchronize. It was sweet, or keep the civilians down. You watch here, do that. It was fun, but then something always goes to hell, and they're like, "All right, we gotta go," and bail out.
And you never know when it's gonna happen, and because there'll be that shifty person who's just kind of like, that guy seems weird. Why is he wearing a bunch of body armor or whatever?
That was always fun. Do you want to take a guess when the last time I played Payday 2?
Oh boy, well, I'm gonna say 2014.
Well, I have 25 friends who play it on Steam. Apparently,
wow. Okay.
I only played for 19 hours.
That'd be good for a single player game.
I purchased the game in August of 2013.
I was gonna say 2013, but I thought it was too early.
It does not, unfortunately, tell me my last played. At first, I thought it said that was when I last played was August 18th. So I'm going to guess, though, it was sometime in 2013. I don't think we played it for
much longer. Well, it wasn't much longer. It wasn't much longer after that they screwed the game up for a little while.
Yeah, that was the problem. Is it who makes that? Starbreeze or who's the devs
Starbreeze Studios.
Yeah, they just had it horribly broken, and there was like issues. Wasn't there issues with like loot boxes or everything?
Yeah, they said they were never going to do it. They were never going to do it, and then they were like, oh, by the way, we're adding them, and they still have vaults, community vaults that open up kind of like in Counter-Strike, where you get different guns or paint packs or whatever the hell. I don't know, because I was there to play the game, not to like do the meta.
I would try it again.
It was fun. Jason, let me tell you about the experience I had. So they've made some updates. Okay, first of all, 2 monitors. This game never wants to start on the right monitor. I swear to God. I have to sit there and mess with it for like 5 minutes before I get it to actually run. After that, though, they've made some quality of life improvements, as they say. So now you remember how when we used to play, you could only do one perk list, which basically, for people who don't know, you would set your person up as like an enforcer or a mastermind or a ghost or a technician.
Yep.
And they all would do different things. Like technician would be setting up drills to drill into bank vaults and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Now they made
was like crowd control and manipulate. It had like auras that kind of passively improved your team.
Yep, exactly. Now they've made it so that you can have multiple sets. So you don't just have the one player type. You can switch out your sets and fulfill a role that might be missing in your 4-man team instead of being stuck.
Do you still have the tree, the experience, like the?
Yeah, you do. I feel like they changed it a little bit though, because now there's 3 tiers to it, and like for instance, the mastermind has a doctor tier, a crowd control tier, and then something else. I don't remember exactly what it is. And then each perk that you can get is within those trees, almost like Diablo 3, where you would have one specific type, but you could do multiple different builds within whatever character you picked or whatever. So it's kind of like that. And then maybe the most annoying thing, though, is that a lot of the guns and stuff are DLC blocked off. So they've came out with a ton of DLC, and I have a little bit of it, but some of the guns that are available are blocked behind DLC and stuff like that. So that's kind of annoying. But it didn't stop me from playing. Yeah, it didn't stop me from playing.
Do you have any legit masks? Are you like woke?
No, I felt like I was not in the game as much as other people. I felt like everyone knew I had been playing forever because I had
this
like
guy still has the rhinoceros mask.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so 2014, bro.
Oh, it was terrible. They made fun of me.
We use the poop. We use the poop emoji now.
Yeah, they probably
Do you have that
the poop
stupid
emoji.
YouTube channel that you like that I hate? Do you have their sound packs?
Stupid YouTube channel that I like that you hate?
Yeah.
Game Grumps?
The husband and wife one.
Oh,
paydays.
Oh God. Ethan and Ela H3H3. I don't. No, that's a because
I hate is a strong word. I don't hate them. I just don't understand. I feel like this is like you're the young kids situation, and I'm like, I don't even know what.
A lot of their humor, I guess, is based on Tim and Eric, which I can kind of take I can. That's old. I think it's old anyway. It's on Adult Swim, maybe. But anyways, so it's absurdist humor, I guess, for the most part. But Ela looks terrible because they don't have a female. Well, no, that's not true. Somebody was playing as a female, but she looks. I don't know what happened there, but it was awesome. Awesome. It was awesome. That's awful and awesome put together. I'm going to, you know what? Trademark. TM. I put it in the chat. I trademarked the word awesome. You can use it if you want. But
awesome?
It's when something's horrible but awesome at the same time.
Is that our horribly bad expansion to awesome knots? Awesome knots?
Awesome knots. That is horrible. But anyways, this has gone on for way too long. I'm just going to say that it was actually a pretty good time, and if somebody else has the DLC, you can play the new packs, the new maps that they've made and stuff, which there were some pretty cool ones. Does it give you any
different type of heist types besides just like
Yeah.
Because I think something would be, instead of like, I only can rob a jewelry store or someone.
Yeah, that's the thing is, I mean, it still kind of works the same way, but because the objectives are slightly different, it feels a little bit different. I don't know how to describe it, because half the time I was, like I said, because everybody else was overpowered, I was like, I'll just stand here and, I don't know, piss people off or something. John Wick. Yeah, they added a new thing where you can.
Well, I forgot because they talked about how that some of the guys here in chat play on Switch, because Payday 2 recently came to Switch, and they have they have their brotherhood, and they're having a great time with the game. And I'm that guy. It's like, well, I didn't have a great time with this game. I think it's a piece of shit. And so I'm that guy, but they said they play like Point Break. So I said, can I be Keanu? And I forgot that John Wick, there's a John Wick skin in the game.
Huh. You can be Keanu, and I'll be oh God, what's the character from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure? Something Esquire
Theodore
the
Logan
Third.
and
Theodore Logan Esquire the Third or whatever.
What was Bill's name? Remember
Bill?
Ted Theodore Logan and Bill something Esquire, wasn't it?
Josh at the same exact time said Bill.
Bill. Okay.
I don't know, but anyways, you can be the Bill to my.
I'm glad Russ is still alive. I haven't played a game with him in ages. So.
You know, not to delve too much in his personal life. He's gone through some trials and tribulations. He sounds like a happier man, Jason. He was telling me about his old boss at the.
He doesn't hate his job and therefore his life.
He was working security at Welch's grape jam jelly factory, and he said it was horrible there, and his boss was awful. So. Like, gave him anxiety attacks. That's how bad it was. And I was like, dude, I could relate to that, because if I had a boss that was yelling at me for the smallest, dumbest bullshit, then I would not want to go to work either. So, but anyway, yeah, it was a fun time, and I'm sure it'll only be a matter of time before we play 7 Days to Die. So,
7 Days to Die.
And then lastly, I do want to get to Bayonetta before I talk. Or before we go on too long, because this...
You want to see me turn my hair into my clothing?
Your beard would just like suddenly like slide down your body, and it would be
seductive,
fucking hot. If somebody can if somebody can draw that for me, I won't pay you any money, like, but I will
Photoshop my beard growing.
Yes, Photoshop or cartoon or even a comic. I would be okay with that. I just need to see it. So. Bayonetta. I was kind of hot and cold with this one. I wanted to play it because, like I said, it's an action game where you can just shut your brain off and punch things until they die.
Wait, let's
with
get
your hair.
Serious.
Let's get serious. You got your gunner glasses protecting you from UV ray lights.
Tell me about the Bayonetta.
Well, she's really attractive. And I like her because she wears a leather suit and she has guns on her feet. And I'm like, why didn't anyone think of that before? Because you can hold 2 guns in your hands, but then you have 4 guns.
She takes no shit from nobody.
That's true. That's true. I will say one thing, though. For anyone who's played the game, I know it's her hair, but it looks like leather. So you shut your mouth, chat.
Red leather, yellow leather.
Oh God. She stands. Okay, so she's supposed to be like kind of a sex icon. Well, not a sex icon, but a sexually charged, independent, strong woman, right? Which is kind of a weird combination. She's supposed to. It's not supposed to be. It's not supposed to be exploitative, but it kind of seems that way when her hair is her not leather suit apparently, and is skin tight. And so one of the things that bugs me is if you're just standing there, she looks like she has scoliosis because the way that she stands is so ridiculous. And anyone who's played the game knows what I'm talking about. If she walks, she looks fairly normal. But if she is just stationary, she like crooks her back in a very suggestive manner, I suppose.
She has to have the butt positioned and then the boobs positioned, and
well,
the
she
body
also
connects to.
See, she also has this weird like spider leg thing going on, which is also happening with what's the
I don't know what's happening.
I was gonna say I have to ignore chat because if I don't, I won't know. I won't be able to continue. But anyways,
are you saying her hips don't lie?
No, she has spider legs. Is what I'm saying. What's the girl from Black Widow
Spider-Man.
or Widow from Overwatch? The sniper character. Widowmaker. She has spider legs too. Like their legs are, an like way too much of their body. That's what I'm trying to say. It looks weird. Like their legs are twice as long as their torso. I don't understand it, but I don't know if it's possible. If it is, I'm sorry. If your legs are twice as long as your torso, I'm not trying to make fun of you, but it looks weird, and you might want to get that checked out. I'm sorry. It's just what it is. I'm trying to look up a picture of her standing, and you would be surprised at how difficult this is to find, considering that she's probably been drawn in a sexual manner.
We've extended the awkward finish to encompass more than one segment.
Ah, yes, that's true.
This is now the awkward everything.
But anyways, so yeah, it's okay. It's just because we're talking about a woman and her spider legs. You know, it's nothing to be bad. Nothing to. Anyways, that's not even my whole point of the story. I'm sorry to get you riled up. I know it's been a while, but just try to cool your jets, Jason.
Dust in the tubes.
That's how that comes out now. So I get to this part where you get to So there's three tiers to the world, right? It's very easy to understand. You have the regular world, which is where we live, you and I think. You have hell or inferno, and I don't know, inferno I think it's called. And then you have paradiso, which is heaven, from what I understand. And there's this part where you first get to paradiso, as far as I can understand, because I still don't know what the hell's going on in this game. And there's a part where there's a challenge. It's like a video game challenge, right? So you've kind of been doing these story things all up to this point for the most part. And then all of a sudden you have this challenge where they make it difficult by making it so that you can only get hit 5 times. They turn off witch time, which is basically bullet time if you dodge at just the right moment, which wouldn't be a problem. But to clear this like area, you have all of these regular things that you fought before, and then come up these. Then after that comes this like tiger thing that has a weird armor helmet thing on its face. I really don't know how to describe it very well because it looks crazy, but it's basically a tiger or something like that, or a lion. And the only way that I've been able to beat that in the past, because it's been kind of a mini boss, is to use witch time to beat the shit out of it. Because if you're too close to it and you're not using witch time, it'll attack you, or it'll jump away, which is even more annoying. And so I've tried this little section, and it's timed. Did I mention that it's timed, Jason? You can only get hit 5 times, and it's timed. I've tried this thing like at least 20 or 30 times. Can do it. Well, that's because he's a freaking badass, and he plays way too much Bayonetta, obviously. I'm too busy staring at her butt and her spider legs or something, because I can't seem to get through this.
You're like, if she has spider legs, how the hell can a Metroid not crawl?
Exactly. These are the questions I need answers to before I can finish this area. So that part has been kicking my ass, and I literally was like, I said to myself, there was nobody here in the room, but I said, man, fuck this game. I tried 20 times, and I'm like, I die again almost to the end. I get really close to almost beating it, and I'm like, man, fuck this game. I'm done, and I quit. Because
it's on Game Pass, difficult. So I thought about trying.
I don't think you would like it very much. It's a little wacky. I don't get it. It's a little anime-ish. I've kind of come to accept it, and I'm slowly accepting it.
It looks like one of my characters in my Japanese.
That's my best impression of. You didn't realize that.
You sound like Snake if he was a nerd. Love can bloom on a battlefield.
It can.
Oh.
That was my Metallica.
If you haven't watched it, please go watch Metal Gear Awesome so you can get.
We're just gonna play it one of these times.
Inside jokes.
We're just gonna play the full entire thing one of these times and take complete.
So satisfying.
It's so. You know what? Okay, here's the teaser for you. You know when you have diarrhea, but it don't hurt when it comes out? So satisfying, man. Gross. That's all you need to know. How could you not want to watch that?
He's the DARPA chief.
What the hell?
Oh God. Oh boy. You shouldn't
have brought that up.
No, I know. Do you have more you want to talk about Bayonetta, or should we just do?
Her hair is her body suit, and it's not leather. Red leather, yellow leather.
Oh God, I wish I had another beer. This would be a perfect night. Okay, so that is what you plan. We have one quick submission from the community grab bag. Mr. Dan Anthony, the man on the street, is back with my. So this happened. Comes from a BuzzFeed article. A poop cult with 58,000 followers set off a Facebook war.
Wow.
So who better authorities on poop than Team Fluxtaposed?
That's true.
Our thoughts and insight on the article. So here we go. On Facebook, let's see.
Yeah, I'm gonna add a window capture to this so everyone can see.
Okay. So the headline says on Facebook, cabbage juice is the new snake oil, and the quote says, "I'm proud of being a leader of a poop cult." Jillian Mai Tai Epperly once joked to fans of her signature recipe, a fermented slurry of salted cabbage that produces, and I quote, waterfalls of diarrhea. This is a story of how she convinced, or the wild story of how she convinced thousands to believe her dangerous science, and how a grassroots movement shut her down when Facebook wouldn't. So this is a pretty lengthy article, so I haven't read it yet.
Oh God.
So
I
say
I say
we're gonna have to read this on our own and come back onto it, I think, and comment, because there's just too much here. But
here's my first. Okay, so what it looks like to me is that people are making. All I can gather from this without even reading it, which is what I do for most news articles I find on Facebook, is that people
are posting images of what they poop out. It looks like little creatures. This isn't. Oh God!
And what they're drinking too.
You know, it's good when Facebook says this is. I'm
just gonna leave that right there.
When BuzzFeed even is like, this is graphic image. This is blurred out for your protection. Proceed at your own caution. God.
In a later video, Wilmot held up a jar of the purple brew, down some, then addressed Epperly. Jillian, I promised you I'd be drinking a cup, so first one down. What?
So I am going to add this to my pocket. The page saving.
No. Wait.
Go back to that.
I need to read this excerpt because it's in bold, and you know the best parts are in bold.
Oh.
She says her cabbage concoction will reverse illness, arrest aging, and even turn gay people straight. What?
It can make me. It can convert me.
It could make you straight again, Jason, and then you could love your wife. I'm sorry. I was like, as I was saying it, I knew it was bad.
Fluxtaposed episode 204.
Grand Rapids, Michigan is in here. Ariel Thomas, a 37-year-old from Grand Rapids, Michigan, founded a similar private group, Death by Salt, mainstreaming the Mai Tai experiment last year. She told BuzzFeed News that she was also alarmed that kids were consuming the fermented cabbage juice. What? That's our hometown.
What caught my eye was a parent putting the protocol, the juice, in a feeding tube of a child that was very sick. She said, no one was saying, this is a bad idea. Oh, boy.
Oh, they're giving babies. What? You give her some in the smoothie and also give it to her with the syringe directly in her mouth? Yes, you're awesome. You're awesome, too. Bloody diaper after giving a baby a syringe full of salt water. Here's the Epperly's opponents marked up a screenshot from her Facebook group allegedly showing the diaper of a baby who had been fed the protocol. This better be fake.
Dan, what have you done?
This is going to drive a wet. I need to close this. Okay, that's enough.
Yeah, we'll come back to that. Dan did post a picture with Mr. Nathan Thomas, and Dan is wearing his Fluxtaposed t-shirt. He looks very dapper. He's probably beating women away with a stick because everyone wants to know who he is.
He's probably drinking cabbage juice.
Probably.
It was me, guys. It was me.
It was me. Well, on that note, friends and folks,
Oh, God.
Thank you, Dan, for the submission. If you want more Fluxtaposed goodness, and you know what? I hope this show never ends. Well, here's a good way to help prolong the lifespan. Head over to patreon.com/Fluxtaposed. For as little as $1 a month, you can help support the show like these amazing people that I'm going to thank right now, because we thank all our patrons, but we want to give a special thanks to our Arbiters of Awesomeness, Sean Capri, Edwin Callow, Tyler Rowland, Nathan Horton, and a special thank you to our Executors of Excellence, Josh Baloney Bourboni, Dan Anthony, and Siri Renee. Thank you so much for your support each month. You helped us conquer the internet, one podcast at a time. As always, help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed or neutered. Have your Josh Bourboni spayed or neutered. And eat more chicken. Listen to more Fluxtaposed. So, yes, we'll be back next week with the Netflix Nation episode. Watch Mute if you can. We'll talk about it. And hey, thanks for joining us. Thanks for listening. And we will see you next time on the Fluxtaposed podcast. Save you a seat.
Oh, this looks terrible. What the hell? Oh man, look at that. That's terrible. It's us.